Hi everyone, welcome back to Choosing Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I'm talking about my second tattoo. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. I'm gonna fix my hair a little bit. I don't know, sometimes it gets in my face when I'm talking and I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, I told you to subscribe, that's fine, let's move on. So, I have had my arm tattooed since November 2022, and for those of you who don't know, my first tattoo was the name of my favourite band in their handwriting. So I met them in October 2022, and I explained the, like how much I loved the band, and for those of you who don't know, the band is Oh Wonder, and they are an indie alt-pop duo from London, and I love them so much, okay? Like, their music genuinely saved my life, and I'm the biggest fan. And if you stick around, you will hear me reference them in a lot of my mental health videos because their music genuinely helped my mental health so much, and I recommend them to literally everyone. Like, I am actually incapable of gatekeeping this band. I don't know. I'm incapable of it. I will yap about it to anyone who will listen. Anyway, so that was my first tattoo, and in 2022, I got this one, and it just made me so happy. And I never thought I would get a tattoo, but their like music was just so special to me. And then I met them, and they wrote down. I explained my plan. I was like, I asked them, can you write down the band name so I can get it tattooed? And they were like, hell yeah. Okay, so that happened, and I was like, this is amazing. So for the first one, I actually did a whole vlog, and it was very early on in the sort of evolution of this channel, but I'm still like decently proud of the vlog. Like, it's very basic, but it was kind of cute. So you can go and watch that vlog if you like. But yeah, for the second one, I was like, do I vlog it or do I not? But then I kind of just went and got it. So I wanted to talk about it because this is an entirely frivolous video of me just yapping about my second tattoo, but I know that you guys are sometimes interested in like my life kind of content, so here we go. So, the second tattoo. This tattoo has the same theme as the first one, and they're both based on my favourite band. Now, I'll put a photo here so you can see what we are talking about. It's on my leg. It is a line from one of their more recent songs, and I'm gonna go into more detail, okay? So, planning. I actually planned this for 2 years. So as soon as I got my first tattoo, I low-key kind of started planning my second. So for context, they released their most recent like new album, 22 Make, it was in late 2022. So I was just listening to that album a lot, and this tattoo is like one of the last lines from the last song on that album. And it's the quote is, "Hey, are you really living?" And it's from a song called Say Something, which is the closer of the album. And I just really connected with this song. Okay, so a lot of their music is about sort of like being uplifted, and really they sort of encourage you in sort of appreciating life through their lyrics. And I just found that so beautiful. And it's kind of been a big theme for me over the past few years to really kind of embrace joy in my life and embrace having fun and embrace just really living. Okay, so this line just really spoke to me, and it served as like such a reminder for me to really just live each day to the fullest. So I was like, this is the one, this is the second tattoo I'm gonna get. But I'm a person who loves to plan. You may have noticed. This is a productivity channel, guys. This is what we do here. So I planned this first tattoo for a while, and I planned the second one for 2 years. I got it in September 2024. Okay, so the design. Let's talk about the design. The design was, it was difficult to come up with the design because I felt like I kind of had to, I don't know, this was a difficult act to follow. It was a difficult act to follow. I was like, I don't know if I can design anything that's better than this, because this is such a cool story, and it's been a real like talking point for a lot of like friendships and relationships that I've had. So like, it's been a talking point, and it's one that I get a lot of like comments on. So I was like, how do I design something that's a worthy follow-up to this one? Because for me, tattoos are quite serious. Like, it's gonna be on me forever. Like, I know there's a tattoo removal that you can get, but I wanted to get something that is gonna be really meaningful to me and is gonna be with me for a long time. So I tend to go back and forth on the design a lot. And I actually went through about 10 different versions of the design. So yeah, it was really hard to come up with a design I liked as much as I liked the first one. But the line, I think, the content, I think itself was quite stable for me, but the presentation of the content was not. So mainly I was trying to decide on the font. I eventually managed to find a combination that worked. So the lyrics obviously are from the song that I was talking about earlier, and it just made so much sense to me in terms of what was going on in my life and the kind of like personal growth journey that I'd been on and like my priorities at the moment. But the font was actually something that I went through loads of different ideas, and the font that I settled on, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before, and it took me ages to think of this, but I don't know why I didn't think of this before. It is the same font that they use on all of their like album covers, on all of their like tour posters. Okay, so it's the same like font. So this is kind of like, it's really sort of a smooth font, so I really liked the sort of aesthetic of it as well. Thinking about placement, so I kind of like, I had a lot of debate in my mind about where I wanted to put this tattoo, because I think the placement of a tattoo is also really important to me in terms of like being able to see it or not see it, or, you know, just making sure that it kind of adds to the aesthetic that I want to curate for myself. So I wanted to be able to see and read the tattoo very often as I went about my life in general, because this was a real sort of like reminder line for me, because it's a question, you know, hey, are you really living? Like, it's a question that I wanted to ask myself regularly. So I wanted it to be somewhere that I was able to like look at it and that I would be reminded a lot, like I would see it on myself all the time. But I also wanted to be able to hide it on occasion, like, I don't know, if I was in like a really formal photograph or something, I don't know. So I also wanted an area which wouldn't be super painful to get tattooed. Like, I like to think my pain tolerance is decently high, but still, I mean, there are limits. So the inside of my left calf was perfect for all of those things. So I got it on like the inside of like my lower leg. So let's talk about the meaning, because this is one of the most important aspects of a tattoo for me. And obviously I'm not saying that everyone should get tattoos that are meaningful. Some people get them just for fun. And obviously I did get these for fun partly, but I think the most, for me, I think the key word here is for me. My tattoos absolutely have to be like incredibly meaningful, and they have to have like a sort of multi-layered meaning to them. So there are 5 aspects to the meaning. Firstly, the lyrics are a reminder to live life to the fullest. That's just face value. You read it, anyone can like read it and be like, that's the meaning of it, because it's literally like, it's right there. It's just a sentence. So that's kind of like just the surface level meaning of it. Secondly, it's kind of a way to connect with other fans. So something that I discovered that, I mean, I thought this might happen, but something that I discovered with my first tattoo was that people would look at it, and if they were also a fan of the band, they would be like, oh my god, she likes the same band as me, and like they're in a sort of a particular niche, so you know, you don't meet another fan every day, and that's so cool. And so I would get like conversations with other fans out of this, because they'd see it and they'd be like, oh my god. So that was really cool, and I wanted that for my second tattoo as well. So to a random observer, it's just a nice quote, but another Oh Wonder fan will recognise firstly the lyrics and secondly the font, and they'll be like, oh my god, you know. So I love meeting people this way. It's a real sort of like a social thing, and you know, sometimes I'll see other people, very occasionally I will see other people with other Oh Wonder tattoos, and I will lose my mind every single time because I think it's so cool. Thirdly, it's just pretty. Okay, like it's just something that I think I've talked about this in other videos, but getting tattoos for me was really kind of a process of like reclaiming my sense of like physical autonomy. So just feeling that sense of like ownership over myself, and you know, that sense of autonomy and that sense of like getting a sense of calm and control in my life. So it was really a really positive thing for me. It's really pretty, and it's just pretty, and I like having things that are pretty. I like, seriously, both of these tattoos just make me feel pretty, and that is a really positive thing for my mental health. Fourth was, I kind of already covered this point, but I've written it down, so let's go with it anyway. I count both of my tattoos as a form of self-reclamation. So let's dive into what this means. I've been in lots of traumatic situations in the past. If you've watched any of my like mental health videos, you will know this, but like I've been in loads of traumatic situations where I felt like my body wasn't my own, or I didn't have like a sense of like physical autonomy, and that's very scary. So getting tattoos remind me that that is not my reality anymore, and I have full control over like my physical autonomy, and that's something I find incredibly comforting and incredibly healing. And it's been something that my therapist was also very sort of like very positive about, and she thought it was a really good idea, and she saw how much it helped me. So okay, I'm getting emotional, let's move on. All right, the fifth part of the meaning is that and I'm gonna give you a little warning, okay? I'm gonna talk about suicide in this section, so if that's a trigger for you, then just like move on, and I'll also put a like warning in the description so you can skip over this section if you like. Having both these tattoos is a form of suicide prevention for me. So I have survived 2 attempts at this point, and both of those I was in a very sort of bad place mentally, as you would expect, but weird as it may sound, having my first tattoo has stopped me from trying again. Okay, even at times when I felt incredibly depressed, and I think it definitely has to do firstly with the sense of like reclaiming my physical autonomy that I talked about. So that's been really amazing for my mental health. Secondly, it's kind of just a reminder that, you know, I am cared for, and that you know, it's also a really good reminder of my coping mechanisms. Like, it helps my mental health so much to listen to their music. So whenever I'm feeling like bad, I'll just look at my arm and I'll go, oh yeah, I can go and listen to my playlist. So there's loads of ways in which it's a really good reminder for me to see my body as something that I care for and not as something that I seek to destroy. And having a second one has, as I predicted, kind of doubled this effect, because now I have like 2 reminders of, you know, the fact that life is worth living, and yeah, just that basically. So I know that this is kind of a random video, but I just wanted to like talk about this because I think sometimes it's all connected to like mental health, guys. It literally is. It's all connected to mental health, and it might seem trivial. And I think sometimes to the outside observer, it's like, oh, you know, you have tattoos, so what? And obviously you can get them for fun, and that's fine. But I just like to yap about things, and I like to yap about mental health, and this was relevant to mental health. And am I planning a third one? I might be. Stay tuned for that. But this is just something that's changed my life in a really positive way, and I guess it's not something that people often necessarily think about in terms of mental health. But actually thinking about it, like, getting these tattoos has really kind of saved me and improved my mental health in a really positive way. And every time I see them, it makes me smile. Like, it literally does. It hasn't worn off. It hasn't got old. If anything, I like them even more than the day I got them. So, like, I don't see that, like, I think that's only going to get better. And it gives me a lot of optimism and hope for the future as well. And it reminds me that, you know, every time that I've been really sad or I've been in like a bad situation, like, their music has always been there for me. So yeah, I just feel really grateful, and I hope I don't know if any of this was like, does any of this resonate with you? Let me know in the comments, because I feel like this is not a coping mechanism that's always talked about. And I feel like sometimes people have a very sort of negative view of tattoos, although the stigma is being reduced. So I think that's a good thing. And I want to contribute to that, obviously. So that's kind of the end of this video. I know it's kind of a long one, but yeah, I hope it was helpful and or interesting. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.